Good morning, our people. Sorry for the late start. Our device again did what it normally does, which is to cut off when we're about to go live, as usual. So, but that's fine. We must continue. We know that the enemy is at work and we at work. So, I get meet the enemy in the middle because we are not
Mhm.
meeting. So, welcome to the program. We are so happy to have you. Please, as usual, help us to share and like and hit the notification buttons, get this information across. We are making strides, we are making impact. We are happy with the feedbacks that we are getting.
Yes,
People are
yes,
getting it, they're getting in sync. Our
yes.
brothers and sisters are understanding the need for us to be actively involved, to be proactive, to be aware, constantly aware, like stay alert at all times, because time is changing, and we need to be able to do what we have to do for the future of our children. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the program. Today is March, no, not March,
April.
April. Yes, trying to go back.
Mhm.
April 29th of 2023. So please, yes, then help us to share, like, and subscribe and do all those nice things that we typically talk about. And I will share where my sister introduced herself. My name is Monachim Saga, and I am in Houston, Texas.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you, our viewers. Once again, we appreciate you for being here. And if you're seeing this video for the first time, please, there are other videos, very educative. After this one, watch others as well. My name is Dr. Ilkwi Simon Okube. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Yes, we're here to do what we need to do. We are team members. As you share, like, follow, subscribe, information will get out to the rest of the people because we're so convinced, we're fully persuaded that once our people understand this message, they will run with it.
Yes.
And when I mean our people, I mean the downtrodden, the everyday people, the people they call the common people. My language will say Ndi Obodo. We're not talking about the middle class and the elites. Those ones are already compromised and they benefit from the evil structure. That's why they're not doing anything, even when people are dying. So please help us to share, like, and subscribe. And I'll join also to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my sister. We're going to take a few minutes to share and then we will start. All right. Um, all right, thank you so much for joining us once again. Hi, brother Isi Momodu. We are always happy to have you around, and the rest of you watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the program. Please continue to help us to share. Whenever you get our video, one of the things that you can do as a stakeholder is to understand the information, share the information. You must share the information with other people. So I'm not sending it to you for your own consumption. We need people, we need this message to get out there. Like my sister mentioned earlier, we are so convinced that once our people understand this message, that they will move. So we just have to give them the information that they need, right? Because for years we've been brainwashed. That's why you will go in Uganda, people will be willing to starve themselves to death because they want to go to heaven. I mean, who would blame them? They already live in hell. So it's not unusual for them to think there's something better out there. So even if it means starving yourself to death, burning yourself alive, like they did in Kenya or Uganda as well, or in our own case, lying to ourselves, being in denial and speaking big English when we are called out, making fun of our conditions. No matter what happens to us, people will find a way to make fun of it as if it's funny. And we are always retrogressing, going backwards. So that's in line with our topic today, which goes Nigeria, the trauma center, how to heal the society. We are so traumatized. That whole place, that whole mere geographical expression called Nigeria is a trauma center. So if you understand what trauma is, you can understand the amount of blood, amount of emergencies, amount of death, amount of anything evil that you can think of that they have unleashed upon the people. So Nigeria is a nation that should be thriving, but rather it has become a crime scene where the inhabitants are exposed to plethora of trauma on a daily basis. The effects of such trauma can manifest in physical, emotional, and psychological ways, and it can vary in severity and duration. While some people are aware of the impact of their traumatic experiences, others have accepted them as the norm, and some even live in complete denial of the damage inflicted on their mental and social well being. This debilitating mental and behavioral disorder poses a challenge to the acceptance of reality, hindering progress towards much needed societal change in Nigeria. It is important to note that not everyone who struggles with accepting truth is mentally ill. Some may have a strong emotional attachment to a particular belief, while others may have a vested interest in maintaining the same perspective, making it difficult for them to embrace alternative options or lines of thought. So, today, join us as we delve deeper into the predicaments faced by Nigerians and explore the NINA's recommended healing strategies. By discussing these issues and promoting effective healing, we hope to contribute to the collective effort of creating a healthier and more vibrant indigenous land. So I'm going to play the video of the day just for you guys to understand the magnitude of what we're discussing today. We have to do better. We have recognized that majority of our people are whacked out, wacko, wackos, Americans would say, but they are wackos that can speak English very well. Though. If you come near them, they will use English. With a saga, and then, as if it's not bad enough, they will go to church and brainwash them what is left of their current condition. We keep reminding you guys that the church and the churches, the religious organization, establishments, and the government are business partners. So all the rules and regulations that the government are putting in place to destroy you, they will have you go into church for them to tell you it's a spiritual attack when
Yes.
it's instead of physical attack. So they are in cahoots. So as they're brainwashing you in church, they are getting rewarded with flights. They will buy them a plane, buy them jets. They will have churches all over the world. They will help them to promote their, because it's a business center, to promote their business center. So they are working together. They are in cahoots with one of all of this. You one will wonder why, with all the monies that these churches make, how they have not established some type of industry to benefit our people. That will never happen. Rather, they will buy an estate in the name of their family members and their children. They will open up schools. They will go to the eastern region, collect money, and go back to their villages and open schools. And some are thinking about hospitals. So we know what people are doing out there, and that's why we are so convinced that once you guys get what is going on with our people, you will begin to make sense. Church is a tool. We told you guys this over and over again. Religious establishment is a tool used by the colonial masters and currently used by the internal colonizers to continue the business of keeping the people down. So we are here for enlightenment. We are here to tell you guys how we can get out of this mess, because we need to move forward as a society. We need to move forward for the sake of our children. We are here. A lot of people have gotten to the age of 70 years of age here in America, and they barely have nothing to show for it because they were so convinced they were going to go back home, and they're still stuck. So let me pull up this brother, and he can further expatiate on what we are discussing today.
Yes. Well, the video we're about to watch is the brother is talking about how come Nigerians and not even Africans, when they leave Africa, when they leave Nigeria, they thrive other places. And these are professionals. But they will read it to news to us. Yes, Nigerian doctor discovered how to do treatments in the womb of a woman. Nigerian engineer built this one. And Nigerian this, did that. Nobody's asking, how come these Nigerian professionals are excelling everywhere but Nigeria? So this man is going to say one or two things. Listen, and then we'll continue the conversation. Thank you.
That Nigeria is struggling with the issues it's struggling with. But some of the smartest people in the world are Nigerians. Yeah. I think most people have mischaracterized the true cost of corruption. I don't think the true cost of corruption, rather, let me say it differently. I don't think the most expensive line item in the cost of corruption, right, is what it's done to the economy. I think it's what it's done to sentiment and what it does to talent. In other words, when you corrupt a system, those less deserving get opportunities to which they are not deserving. The problem is that those who are deserving pick up a little green document called a passport. They get on a plane and go elsewhere and they leave. Now, there are some people watching this who go, no, they must go. Let me tell you why that is the dumbest, most nonsensical thing I've ever heard people say. When you say JJ must go, JJ is born in South Africa. The South African state educates him for 18 years to get his matric. Then that same South African economy, has built institutions of education. Let's assume JJ gets a master's. It's another 5-6 years of it. 24 years invested, and you're going to say he must just go. And so what's happened now, if it's not the semigration to the Western Cape, that's a separate conversation altogether. It's the proper immigration. The number of South Africans who have sat in this chair living in Canada today would alarm you. The number who've moved to Australia would alarm you. The number I bump into, or neighbors of mine in the Middle East, will alarm you, right? Because what talent does, when you distort this thing about effort versus reward, is talent goes where it will be rewarded.
My goodness.
It doesn't have to put up with the nonsense. It gets on a plane and it leaves. If you looked at the top 100 investment bankers in Wall Street today, you'd find a healthy percentage of them are Nigerians. The top brain surgeons in the world today, healthy percentage of them, Nigerians. The top investment banking lawyers in the world today, healthy percentage of them, Nigerians. What does that tell you? How is it that Nigeria is struggling with the issues it's struggling with, that some of the smartest people in the world are Nigerians? And then you look at where you'll find those Nigerians, and typically it's not in Nigeria. It means you've got this incredible base of talent whose skills, competence, and abilities are being harvested by another economy and not their economy of birth. So I want to say this to all South Africans. If you want to destroy this economy, let the talent leave.
All right. That's the video number one. I am going to pull up the subsequent video.
People are asking questions. Those are living in denial. Nigerians are living in denial. But other African nations are wondering what is happening to you. People outside the world are wondering what is happening to you. So lie cannot thrive for too long. Very soon, the entire truth will be made open. And those of you that are living in denial, I wonder where you hide your face when that happens. Because you would have lied to yourself. You wanted to lie to yourself, but you can't lie to the entire people. So we'll bring in Brother Tony. Okay, go ahead, please.
Election is coming. A bigger monster, a monster bigger than that monster that I've been eating out of, is in operation, is awake and charged to defeat the monster that I've been dealing with. The monster that swallowed the mandate of Peter Obi the other day. That monster is going down, and it is Ninas is that bigger monster than the monster that had done all of what we have seen across the last 60 years. 62 now, to be 63 in October. I think we need to dress back, look at this map, place people on that map, place the stories we read, trace them to the origins, and see who is orchestrating them. The corruption that Buhari has become the champion globally, we saw when he was.
All right, so you can actually watch this video in its entirety on our Facebook page. We played this video before, and we are going to pull the PowerPoint for the day. Please continue to help us to share and like and subscribe and hit the notification button. You will understand today why Nigeria is a trauma center. And until we begin to view that Osman Danfodio estate as a trauma center, we will not be able to move forward. So when you have people that will trap you where your destiny is being controlled by them, they will be the one that will decide if you live or die. They will be the one that will decide if you thrive or not. But guess what? People are leaving because you don't have that power. You don't have that capacity to hold people hostage. You are not the one that created them. So what did they do? They have an avenue to leave the place and call it a day. Sister, can you see my screen?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, usually when I go on this slideshow, it cuts me off. I don't see anything. So if you guys can see at any point, as always, let me know. Because I can't see once I go on a slide.
Yes.
Yes, so we cannot start this show as always without reminding you guys where you are. That trauma center of Usman Danfodio that held the smartest group of people that are thriving everywhere in the world. Everywhere you see them, they will come with a suitcase and make a mansion out of where they are. They will make money out of where they are. They have the resources. Imagine the amount of money coming from diaspora to Nigeria on a yearly basis, because without that source of funds, that place you call Nigeria would have been down, because all they do is to eat ego. They swallow the money. The snake will go to the education center and swallow the money that they're supposed to use to take national exams. So until we take responsibility of our future and take charge of our spaces, like Nina has told us a long time ago, Ninas will continue to live in that trauma center of Usman Danfodio. So we need to be able to correlate that. According to Jeremiah 8:20, according to Jeremiah 8, chapter 22, is there no balm in Gilead? Are there no doctors there? Why then have my people not been healed? Wow, what a correlation. Is there no balm in Gilead? Are there no doctors there? Why then have my people not been healed? Because we refuse to do the right thing. We live in a crime scene and a trauma center, and we pretend like all is well. We pretend that it's okay. People will sit around and with all their degrees, they are still taken at elementary levels. And then when you call them out, they will be angry that you told them that they are kindergartens or kindergartners when it comes to things that are happening back home. For years, we thought it was voodoo. We thought it was our uncles, our aunties, our neighbors, the one that didn't like us, our father's business partners, without knowing that it was the way that Nigeria was created. It's a crime scene. So this is a way to call it out for you. It was created to be a crime scene to traumatize you and keep you to run in circles. Trauma has a very wide variety of range. We're talking about physical, emotional, and psychological symptoms that you can get from it. And these symptoms can be seen at individual, family, community, even at a national levels. And until we begin to recognize these things, we'll continue to run in circles. It may affect an individual's ability to function normally and to achieve set goals. There's a dysfunctionality and disruptive family life and interactions. There's constant quarreling, right? Because if not your uncle holding you down, is somebody else holding you down. I remember one of my cousins telling me that my uncle was the one holding all the male child in the family down. And when he died, he's like, oh yeah, now we'll be released. Nobody got released. They went nowhere. All kind of bottle. So you can see it wasn't the damn uncle. For all these years, he was being called name. You can imagine how he feels. He's like, to hell with the nieces and nephews if you guys think I'm that bad. Compliments of the church, because they will come and tell you he buried a bird here and buried in them one a backyard and buried the other one. Then they will come and dig something out to represent what they claim that the uncle buried in the yard. And the poor guy has no one speaking for him, turning everybody crazy. You start having abnormal societal behavior, where people will make fun of what's happening to them. They'll make fun of their trauma. You see them dancing and making jokes in the face of great danger. And they are, hitting 1 million views and 20 million views, and people will think it's so funny. When your lives are in dire danger, people are making fun of it. What are the other common signs and symptoms of trauma? Some people will experience flashback and nightmares. Some people will have what we call post-traumatic stress syndrome. Like example, Buhari, according to his wife, we've heard that before. We're talking about distressing memories of traumatic events, which can affect you on a daily basis. Avoiding places, peoples, and activities that trigger memories of those trauma. Are you feeling on edge, jumpy, and easily startled? Some people will experience mood swing. They will have irritability, anger, difficulty managing emotions. And you can see a lot of our people are emotionally unavailable, emotionally unintelligent, and emotionally destroyed. But they are walking around. You see them walking around trying to make it. Or better yet, they will try to fast and pray over it. You see them having negative self-talks, feeling ashamed, guilty, and even experience low self-esteem. Some people are not sleeping well. Mind you, your body heals while you sleep. So if you're not sleeping, you will definitely be traumatized. When you don't sleep well, the cells don't get to rest, they don't get to regenerate. You see yourself running in circles, you wake up in the morning with headaches, and you say continue, it's a vicious cycle. You're tired all the time, there's chronic pain, headaches, stomach issues, just name it. Some people will start abusing alcohol, drugs, trying to cope with emotional pain. They will start beating up their wives and their children. They will start pointing blames where there is none. I mean, totally disorganizing their train of thoughts. Some of them will withdraw from their friends, from their families, from societal activities. There's constant feeling of sadness, depression, and anxiety. There's a feeling of hopelessness, worry, and panic attacks. Some will even experience ADHD, which is called attention deficit hyperactive disorder, common among children and adults. They can sit in one place. They cannot finish anything. They will begin something, they will not finish it, they will move on to another. Some of them may not even have symptoms at all. Some will become church addicts. You'll find them going to church every day. You don't have a job, you're going to church instead of walking down the street to go and ask for jobs. You'll find yourself stuck in church, fasting and praying. And maybe in Kenya, you start starving yourself to death because you don't know what else to do. What are the other mental health conditions associated with trauma? An individual's ability to understand reality may be affected. This may impact their ability to accept the truth, which is very, very, very common in Nigeria. That's why a man will come out and tell you guys that Nigeria is a car with no engine, that he wasn't willing to drive a car with no engine. You guys took all your money, even though he has a bank, you took all your money you gave him to go and do the impossible. Oh, I forgot, you guys have an impossible God. What is it, God? There's nothing that your God cannot do. So in the case of Nigerians, when they see a car with no engine, because their God does impossible things, they will tell the man, enter the car without engine, we will make it drive. And in America, these are signs of schizophrenia. When you see things that is, reality shows us that it will not work. We know there's no way the car will move. People that build the car told you without engine. They built the car. It wasn't your God that manufactured the car. The car was built by someone and he's telling you he cannot drive without engine. But you, the Onyara from Trauma Center, Nigeria, will say, I will bring my money and put all my strength so we can push that car. That's where it's called hallucination, delusion. We see this is common in our pastors and our prophets. They will come and tell you, go and vote, get your PVC. 2 weeks after, they will tell you, or 2 weeks before the election, that election is not going to work out, so that they will take glory. People will experience difficulty to distinguish reality from their perceptions. Their reality is definitely distorted. They are unable to embrace the truth. So you can never convince them that a car without engine will never drive. Even when the man that has no watch is telling you he's going to drive it, because they will never understand that it's impossible for anybody to move a car with no engine. They may also experience borderline personality disorder. This involves patterns of thinking and behavior that make it difficult to accept the truth, especially if it conflicts with their self-image or belief about themselves. You start assigning the role of God unto man, someone that is incapable. He ran his state, claimed that he left millions of dollars after he didn't pay a lot of people their salaries. Ran and used his money and opened a mall everywhere in Abuja, with his bank. Are we talking about his bank? And people, because the reality on ground, the car with no engine conflicts with their self-image and beliefs about everything else. So they figure that if they put a lot of money into a car with no engine, that the car will move forward. Cycle. So mentioning all of this, you can see it's in line with the trend of things happening around our people. The train of thought, you will see them they will sit in Houston. They don't live in the United States. They don't live in Nigeria, because Nigeria is a place where they go and do God. None of them cares about what's going on in Nigeria. They are hoping they will stay here, work extra shift. Then they will come to Nigeria to show off to their good old boy network. I'm back. Life in Ekulobia night in life in Lagos. I'm having fun. Once I change my dollars and change it to Naira, I can show off to other boys that I have arrived. It's not about having our people being able to live a sustainable life with or without our presence. Our people living with dignity with or without our presence, where they no longer have to wait for us to come, for Onwa to come to the village and turn on generator before they can have constant lights. They are not making any connection with that. So we are going to continue with this conversation. I will turn over to my sister. Please continue to help us to share, because we need to recognize all these things. Some people may feel insulted, but you onyara. And until you accept your onyara, you will never receive any healing, because you believe in your God. So the number one approach is for you to accept that you live in a trauma center, a crime scene, that have turned you into a mental patient, so that we can move forward to where we are going. So continue to help us to share and like. Thank you.
Tony just said something. He said, Unit 3 Nigeria is the incinerator of talents, a destroyer of dreams, and a burial ground of innovations.
Say that again, my sister.
Well put. He said, Unit 3 Nigeria is an incinerator of talents, a destroyer of dreams, and a burial ground of innovations.
So sad.
There's this question that therapists like asking their clients. When they finish saying, oh, this is happening, I almost killed myself, I did this, they'll say, how does that make you feel? You You heard that Nigeria is a crime scene. How does that make you feel? Because if, as human beings, we are able to understand how we are feeling about a situation and verbalize it, it will be easier for you to say, oh, if this is making me feel this way, let me not do it to another person. My people will say, if one man maybe na one mother, maybe na one more, kind of justice and equity. If I do this thing, if they do this thing to me, I won't like it. Let me not do it to another person. How does that make you feel? Nigeria is a crime scene. Are you happy about it? Do you, like, when you hear it? Because I posted in some platform, I could see somebody saying, no, it's a lie. I say, yes, denial, which is one of the symptoms that we mentioned. You're denying the reality that everybody is saying. You say, no, it's not true, because your pastor say, if you're weak, say you're strong. If you are poor, say I'm rich. I change your name to Brother Rich and Sister Wealth. That's how money will come to you. No. And if it doesn't come, it will now be your grandfather or your father's wife that has sat on your destiny. They'll come and start removing things from the ground that they put before you arrived. How does that make you feel? Do you feel fulfilled? Are you satisfied? Or are you sad, hopeless, and helpless? Because it's good for you to stop for a moment and think, this is the situation. This is the reality. How do I feel about it? Because if it makes you feel sad, you want to change it. Who is traumatizing Nigerians? Making them to run away from Nigeria. This is our reality today. That Nigerians do not excel in Nigeria. They excel outside Nigeria. When they're in Nigeria, they amount to nothing.
Yep.
If you just manage to get any of them out somewhere else, they thrive. It makes me I remember a part of scripture that said, is a land that eats the inhabitants. The land that eats the inhabitants. Who is causing this crime and trauma? Who is doing this? Is there no way to stop the trauma and heal the people? Is there no way? Are we helpless? Is there no way as human beings living in that geographical space? Is there no way we can stop this? At the end of this presentation, you will understand whether there's a way or not. We tell you to please help us share, like, subscribe, follow, share to your church pastors, your traditional leaders, your what they call all those groups they call town unions, their presidents and their members, your school classmates, schoolmates, whatever. Share to them, because we need to analyze what is going on. You see, knowing the truth and working with the truth is the first step to getting healed. Please, my son, the next slide. You need to know the truth. After you have known the truth, you need to know how to work with it. That's the first sign, first step if you want to be healed. We need to begin to understand what is causing the pain. We are all in pain. Or are you not in pain? Nigerians, are you not in pain? Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Are you satisfied? Are you not in pain? We need to understand what is causing the pain. Injustice at all levels is the biggest cause of our pain. Injustice. Wife is hurting husband. Husband is hurting wife. Children are hurting parents. Parents are hurting children. Community people, the same. Nation, everywhere. Injustice. Nobody's getting justice. And everybody's in pain. Running mad with pain. We cannot heal in the face of injustice. You can't. If injustice is what is causing the pain, you have to remove the injustice if you want the people to heal. Be it in your family, in your community, or at national levels. People are in pain. Since the amalgamation of Nigeria, 1914, that we did not do, it wasn't us. We were in our own house, living our own lives. Somebody came from somewhere, joined all the people together and said, now you have been amalgamated. You'll be called Nigeria. Since 1914, since that amalgamation, the indigenous ethnic nations and peoples have been dying because the resources in their lands must be stolen from them. That's the reason for the amalgamation. It wasn't because they love you. It's because they want to steal the resources in your land, to use it to build their own land while your people die and perish. When one group is massacred, the other groups not affected will be silent and look the other way. You know, concern me. Na Igbo man they kill. Me, I be Yoruba, wetin concern me. Native man they kill. Me, I be Doma, wetin concern me. Na Hausa then they kill. Wetin concern me. Me, I be Jo, you know concern me. You will look the other way. But they just massacred human beings. You are not touched. Especially when the other groups are rewarded or they benefit from the killing of another or the marginalization of another. They will keep quiet, forgetting that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. They will even send delegates to those killing. Thank you for not killing our own people. It's only those people you killed. You didn't kill our people. Thank you so much for not killing our people. This is how we continued this nonchalant attitude. Please, next slide. We continued this nonchalant attitude until 1967-70, when one of the ethnic nations was almost wiped off for daring to challenge the invaders. Yet the rest of the ethnic nations did not understand what happened. Oh, those troublesome people, they're always making trouble. No, that's not what happened. They challenged the invaders and they were punished for it. Over 3.5 million people, citizens, civilians, massacred. But there was an intervention, a prompt intervention from some foreign interests that stopped them from being wiped away, because the plan was already set that all males 2 years and above should be killed, and their women shared as war booty. It was already concluded, and they had started at Asaba. What you heard about that happened at Asaba was a test run. They were just beginning the project of wiping all males 2 years and above, and then you share their children so that they will stop disturbing and challenging the invaders. But there was prompt intervention by some foreign interests. We don't want to mention them now. We know them. That's what stopped it. Yes, their lives were saved, but their wealth and resources were not saved, as their properties, money, and resources were seized from them. Everybody kept quiet. Everybody saw it, but they kept quiet. Then they started a project called Indigenization Policy of 1972 to 1977. We're trying to take it through so that you understand. Because if you don't understand when the rain began to beat you, you will not know where it started to dry. Because we hear people telling a lot of lies. We say we are daughters of truth. We're here to make things straight. We will tell you where it started and they will tell you how to solve it. We don't carry propaganda and lies. Share this video, please. This indigenization policy was championed by some selfish bureaucrats and businessmen and women for themselves. They told a lie. That is to ensure greater participation of indigenes. That is to help develop local skills and technology. That it will promote indigenous businesses. Where are the indigenous businesses right now? But what the children of today do not know, what was hidden from them, that indigenization policy excluded the Igbos, who were just coming out of Biafra genocide. They were not part of it. How? Because they just seized their wealth. After seizing their wealth and giving some people that have accounts 20 pounds, that money that they gathered, they used it to give loans to other nationalities. Up Nigeria, so that they can use it to buy shares in those companies they wanted to indigenize, limiting the abilities of those people just coming out of genocide, the ability to have a fresh start, denying the entire Southeast region the opportunity to participate in being part owners of the nationalized companies. They almost killed everyone in genocide. They were stopped from doing that. They had to take all their resources. Because of that, poverty and deprivation, they had no other choice than to painfully leave their land and embark on forced economic exile. That's why you have the Igbos scattered all over the world. People should be checking these things out. Because if you don't understand where the pain is coming from, where injustice is coming from, you will not understand the solution, the problem. You think it's voting this one and voting that one. No. Is it voting Peter Obi that made all the Igbo people scatter all over the world? Is that it? Is that why? So when you vote Peter Obi, then Igbo people will not come back home. Why did they close their seaports? Why did they close their international ports in the first place? For people that are shouting, if the federal government can just open the port for us. Who closed it in the first instance? Why is it that people in the Southeast, if they want to travel outside the country, they have to go to Southwest or go to the North? Do you know how many hours it takes? Do you know how many people that have died embarking on that journey? They are the most ones that travel, yet they do not have how to see outside the world. They have to get out of the world through other regions. Who did it? Who created this poverty? You had seaports. You had refineries. Somebody closed them down and left only one, creating poverty for everyone. My people see, you held one region, but you held yourself, Nigerians. You have tied your destiny down, trying to hold down one ethnic group. El Rufai made a recent confession. He said that when Abuja was built, the Igbos were not given allocations. This is just 1980 to 1991, recently. The Igbos were not given allocations. But you know what? Today, 80% belongs to them. Because when you are fighting, unseen forces will fight against you. The next plan they have now for the next dispensation is for them to use the gas and oil in Igbo land and the oil in South to build and fund projects in the Caliphate 1967 Alliance territory, while our lands continue to lie in ruins and our people scattered all over the world in search of food and survival. How does this make you feel?
Hmm.
When you hear these things, can you stop and think, have a reflection, and begin to say, oh, is that why this is happening? I didn't know this before. Now that I know, what am I going to do? We're talking about healing Africa, healing Nigeria, healing African societies, healing Nigerian societies. We have to start from where the problem started if you want to heal. If you keep managing the symptoms, you will never solve the problem.
Nope.
We need to break the bridge upon which the enemy is traveling. Stop the trauma. That's what you do. If there's a tap that is bringing out evil water, you don't keep mopping. You go and turn off the tap. That's what Ninas will tell everyone all the time. There's a bridge that is bringing in invaders, coming to traumatize us, everyone. They started from one ethnic group, but now everybody's suffering. What do? You break the bridge and stop the enemy. It's a war strategy. If you are at war and the enemy is upon a bridge into your country, you break the bridge. That's what you do. That's what God did at the Red Sea. After crossing the Israelites, he closed the road and the enemy perished in it and the people were saved. We need to heal at individual level in order to heal at family, community, and national levels.
Mm-hmm.
You as a person, begin to think like a human being first. Calm down. It's not because, oh, it's happening to this person, then you're like, I don't care. No, that's not a right way to behave. For individuals and families, because everybody is bleeding, everybody is in pain, we suggest that you go and engage the services of professional counselors and therapists. We see you online, Nigerian families. The stories that come from you, like, it doesn't make sense. Things that will just be solved, simple things. No, it doesn't make sense to Nigerians. In their marriages, in their homes, everywhere. You beat children for things you should not beat them for. Inflict pain on them. Beat your wife, beat your husband, beat your house help, burn them with iron. But like unthinkable things. Because you are not normal. You need professional therapy. You need treatment. The trauma center that you have lived in, called Nigeria, has made you to become abnormal. So you need treatment. That's one of the reasons when Nigerians get to another land, because they have a system and things are in place. Those some that need treatment get treatment. When you discuss with some of your people that are in UK, US, and all that, when they get there, they have new, like they make diagnosis. They make new diagnosis for them. And they will say, hey, I didn't even know is this thing that was happening to me. And begin to treat them. And you see them begin to thrive. There's nothing wrong with Nigerians as human beings, except that they have been traumatized by Nigeria. So whatever you see them exhibit, these are the signs and symptoms of the disease that they're suffering. Trauma, effects of trauma from living in Nigeria. Nigeria is a crime scene, is a trauma center, traumatizing the inhabitants. The system called Nigeria. Nigeria needs complete decolonization and the immediate transition to union renegotiation, union reconfiguration, and union reconstruction, according to Nina's template. Because people will say, oh, we've been having these meetings all the time. You've been having it wrongly. Because each time people want to do something right, some criminals will come and hijack it and take it to their own selfish whatever. Just like we formed alliance. Peter Obi had to appear from nowhere to carry the alliance and move to go and do Fulani election. What has happened to it? He took our freedom and sold it to the enemy for his selfish gain because he wants to answer the best president of Nigeria. He knows the truth, but no, he chose the pathway of lies. He chose to sell the people to the enemy. And you think he will go scot-free? Okay, we are watching. This union renegotiation that Ninas has presented Nigerians with a template that will make it bloodless and easy. It will return the stolen resources and sovereignty to the indigenous ethnic nations through multi-regional referendums, well organized. We're not talking about people that go to social media and be shouting referendum, referendum. We don't hear that one before. We're not talking about those ones. Those are criminals. Those that have made freedom fighting a career. Today they are president, tomorrow they are prime minister, the other time they become whatever. That's not the process. So when we do this, we begin real development, prosperity, and civilization, not westernization. Because what people see in Nigeria is they think that westernization is civilization. No. You are a Yoruba person. You have your culture, beautiful culture. You can improve on it. You are an Igbo person. You have your culture. You can improve on it. You are a job person, Efik, other. You have your beautiful culture that have kept you for so long. There's a reason why you have those cultures. What you do is improve on it. But if you abandon your culture and go and pick the white man's culture, you cannot fit in. You start having identity crisis. That's why everyone is running crazy.
And even Americans recognize that.
Exactly.
Because
Even
here,
raising children.
when they're communicating with everyone, they try to speak the language, your mother's tongue language.
Exactly.
But they know there's something unique about you and your culture.
Exactly.
In order for you not to have that identity crisis that you're currently having because you're trying to be who you're not.
Exactly. So no one want you to have your identity crisis. Embrace your culture. Embrace your ethnicity. However, respect other people. Improve on your own. Make it better for everyone, male, female. There's nothing like, oh, African marriage. Marriage was not made for Africa. It's a universal institution. Oh, African man, he wants to treat a woman like this. Things are changing. When you treat your women in a particular way, they will rebel against you. Because it's just normal. Even children. If you treat children in an abnormal way, they will rebel against you. We don't want that. And that's why we say people should go for therapy. In your families, in your homes, go for therapy. Abnormality have become normal for too long. So you need to begin to learn, like, this is not okay. It's not okay to treat a human being this way. If I don't want to be treated this way, then I shouldn't treat another person that way. Equity and justice. To balance that, even in your family, you begin to enjoy the peace that God wants you to have. I believe that no single human being is inherently evil. It's just that situations turn people around. And it's not a hopeless situation. What you do is to go for treatment. If you're a product of trauma, if you have gone through certain trauma in your life, in marriage, in homes, in family, or whatever, you need to go for therapy so that you will become okay and be able to function as you should. Optimal capacity, you need to function optimally. There is now balm in Gilead. Yes. Nina's union renegotiation template is the balm to heal the ethnic nations trapped in the Caliphate unitary Nigeria. Thank you very much.
There is definitely now balm in Gilead. We just have to recognize that, right? Because we want to be able to move forward. We recognize what is wrong with us, we address it, and then we move. It's a no-brainer. It's the only outcome that we desire. If not for you, maybe you've because of the psychiatric disorders, you have now become into self-hate. For the sake of our children, we have to change that. We have to move forward. We have to protect human rights, right? We have to promote critical thinking. We have to build trust. Trust is the foundation of truth is the foundation of trust. Because without that, we'll be running in circles. You have to be open to each other. If there's something going on, there is no need for you to grind your teeth at night while you're sleeping and eat your fingertips during the day because you're bottling everything in. By the way, that's a sign of anxiety. So if you're a teeth grinder, go and revisit your history. Something is going on that is causing you to grind your teeth and want to break it. It's correlated with anxiety. The number one thing you do is to speak the truth, verbalize your feelings. Whoever that is causing you to be anxious, causing you to be traumatized, address that person truthfully and honestly. We're also talking about integrity, living a life of honesty and truthfulness, which reflects one's integrity at all points, at all times. We have to reevaluate our values and our cause, because for years, because we were left hungry, because we were left destitute, we have now turned money into the best value that we can have. In our previous show, we redefined success to you. Success to me, success is living peacefully with my husband. Success is having respectful children that are thriving, children that are good citizens, that when you go out there, you know it's not about you, it's about community well-being. It's about all of us. It's about we all have to do well, because when one is not doing well, that one can become a thorn in our flesh. So we do what we can as humans to make sure we carry everyone along. We have to be accountable at all times. In order for us to do that, we have to be truthful. Because if we're truthful, then we can look at ourselves and say, hey, we have done wrong. Let's reassess and see how we can make this right. Be quick to say, I'm sorry if you're at fault. Be quick to take blame where you need to take blame and move forward. It's not about your ego. It's about justice, equity, fairness. Because we know that lies can lead to injustice. Like my sister mentioned earlier, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So you cannot pretend as if, oh, it's not happening to me, so it's okay. Oh, I'm doing well, all my children can come and live in Houston, Texas, and everybody else can burn in hell. No, because if those kids that you're abandoning in your neighborhood, if they're not taken care of, they will turn into criminality. And guess who's going to become their first victim? You. You will be their first casualty. So it's no longer okay for us to be quiet in the face of evil, in the face of calamity. If you're an adult, you have to be at that level. It's no longer okay for you to say, oh, I only go to church and go to work when your neighborhood is burning up. It's not okay. And we'll talk about democracy and strengthening democracy, right? And we all know what it means, not the ones that Americans are trying to bring to us and tell us it's okay to embrace LBQFGTHHER when our people are dying of hunger. You talk about the majority wanting food. You want us to be worried about things that is not even on our... If it's 70 LQBB, they are also hungry. Their number one thing on their list is hunger, food. So we have to create an environment that will be able to bring us such. Fostering social progress and development, not the ones that you will collect all the money and put in your pocket, the ones that will address the needs of our youths, so they are no longer in the forest killing each other, stealing your cars, waiting for you on the main road. Those kids, if you approach every one of them, you will see no hopelessness. It's hopelessness that kept them at that point. We need to be able to offer that to our children in order for us to get the outcome that we desire, right? We desire to feel safe in our neighborhood. We desire to drive home anytime that we want and be safe. And the only way we can do that is to do what? Carry everybody along, especially our youths. Because if you don't get them engaged, it goes back to an idol, Goethe Shekwe said, devil's workshop, right? We don't want to build a devil's workshop. And we cannot end without the 5-point proposition summary that we've always discussed with you guys here, that we are asking for them to acknowledge the grave constitutional grievances that we raise in the union dispute, that we want express commitment to decommission the imposed 1999 unitary constitution that is not serving our purpose, rather is serving the purpose of the slave masters and their internal colonizers, those benefiting from our sufferings, those that are asking money, like Buhari is about to leave office and he's asking for money, as if in Keyera Aisha, what's the name of the wife? Is Aisha, right? As if the one they swallowed is not enough. They want to swallow some more, leaving us in debt when we have nothing to show for it. Nothing. We are asking for express commitment to shelve for the national election, which you guys went to drive a car with no engine and the damn car did not move. And the reason why we say that is for us to initiate an immediate transitioning process for fresh constitutional protocols, because the constitution that you have will never allow you to move forward. That's why we told you cannot do an election in a constitution that everybody will have to uphold and swear and they uphold and everything else over the constitution, that the establishment will continue the way they are, because they cannot change it after they swear to uphold it. They cannot. And the fourth one is an invitation to the constituent people of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangements, including mandate timeframe, membership, and ancillary matters. And the last but not least is announcement of a time-bound 2-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage feature multi-regional referendums. We're talking about a process, not the ones that people are using to make money. They will collect money and tell you they're bringing referendums, as if they are the government, so that we can agree to recommit or opt out of the union. And in the second part of it, we will distill terms of union as may be dictated by the outcomes of the referendums. So let me say this in a simple way. So all we're saying is that we want to be able to vote in a referendums, and whatever that comes out of it, based on what the people want, that's how we move forward, based on what the people want. We want to be able to give the constituents ability to be part of this process, because when we do that, the outcome becomes their own. They will die to defend it, just like Americans will die to defend their constitution, because they were part of the process. Not the ones that you go to a hotel room to do with your friends, and then the ones that went to Harvard will come and write the English language for you. As you guys are rushing, you left even things to say, oh, these are the wayo we did for this election constitution. You even left it in there. That's how callous they were with our lives. And we know that nobody will sign up for their own damnation. Definitely not me. I don't know about the rest of you guys. So as usual, I want to remind you that Nina's constitutional force majeure with 2-year anniversary just quickly ended or went by in December of 2022. We are on Smart Africa. We are on Spotify, Clubhouse as Smart Africa, African. Our sister indeed is there having a 1-minute talk just to round up, summarize certain things for you to understand what we're saying and what we're doing. And on Tuesdays is Twitter Tuesday, where we go in and tweet that Ninas is right. We must stand with Ninas. So these are the little things you can do on your own to promote this knowledge base, to encourage our people to be politically literate about what is going on, because the policymakers are the ones that decide if you live or if you die. So we cannot be reading Bible when we don't know what the policies are. The Bible is okay, but we need to understand what people around us are doing to keep us in abject poverty, to make us use our last money to buy a ticket that will send our children to Mediterranean Sea to die. because we know if they live in that environment that they go nowhere. So to learn more about what we're doing, please visit us on ninasvoice.org, daughtersoftrue.org. We have on our we on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We have plenty of videos for you to share around. As usual, we are available to have a discussion with you. And thank you for those that have booked meetings. We appreciate you for what you're doing. Continuing your endeavors. As people get this information, we will move, because for years we are misinformed. Then, as if it's not bad enough, we'll start making jokes of what is happening to us and we'll think it's funny. We need to redirect our energy to something that will help us to achieve a meaningful outcome. So, and finally, we must insist on transition now, and not the selection that they're about to unleash on us May 29th. We'll see how that goes. So until next week, please take care. Continue to help us to share this information, summarize this information. The good thing is the video is there. As you're watching, you're sharing. Please, this is not for you to keep and think, oh, no. We want more for our people. If only you can see what's in our hearts. The Bible says, if only you can see what God has prepared for those that he loves. If only you can see what we have in our heart for you guys. I want my brothers and sisters to be able to sit in their living room and press a button and Uber Eats will knock on their door and give them food and walk away. We want to be able for you to sit anywhere and decide, oh, I want to go on vacation and catch the next flight out with no inhibition, no harassment. We want you guys, because we know that if you guys, if you guys are thriving, the whole world will benefit, because we are just that kind of people. People like that, we are full of goodness and mercy, kindness towards others. So imagine if we can empower our people, how much that will heal this world, this world that we live in. So we are on a mission to heal our people, to heal the land, so that we can move forward and stop the Luciferic agenda that has turned us into a trauma center and a crime scene. We want to end it. And with Ninas, we can do so. So remain safe until next week. We shall see you again, and take care. Sister, do you have something to add?
No.
Okay, I don't see.
Yeah.
I don't see anything like I'm on the other side. All right, do I even know how to turn this thing off now? Our brother Ifechi said, I will watch again. Thank you, brother Ifechi. Please help us to share. We appreciate everyone that shows up here. Welcome, brother Ukechukwu Ugu. Of course, our brother Tony and Isi Momodu. We appreciate you guys. Let's continue to educate our people. We know we want more for you guys. We want more. We are that powerful. We are that smart. These people, they've stolen from us for 400-500 years. They are still trying to steal. Imagine if they allow you to steal for 500 years. The amount of wealth you amass, you use it to take care of everybody in the whole world all by yourself. So we need to move forward. Please help us to share this information so that our people can understand what we need to do to move forward. There's no fakeness going on here. There's no promise of something that cannot happen. These are practical steps for practical solution to what we are suffering to.